Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it, and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a lovely 2019 edition from Oris. This is the Oris Aquis Date Relief, part of the Conservation Series, a multi-year run of Oris sports watches dedicated to building awareness, principally with regard to conservation causes related to marine environments, freshwater, saltwater, inland, and open sea. Now the watch on my wrist is 43.5 millimeters in stainless steel, and you can see it's a striking timepiece. One of the most distinctive of the Aquis Date collection. It's 43.5 millimeters, but it doesn't wear that large because of the short and stubby and nicely curved lugs. You can see on my wrist of 16 centimeters circumference, there's really no danger of those lugs overlapping the edge of my wrist. And the watch is not thick either. 13 millimeters thick means this one wears fairly easily underneath any cuff in spite of the outcropping of the dive-style bezel's edge. The timepiece from lug to lug is an eminently reasonable 50.1 millimeters. Normally I would say that's on the large side for a smaller wrist, but because of the shape of the lugs, it's really not a concern at all. Now let me show you one more perfect over-the-top shot, one more thickness shot, and one more shot right down the barrel. Okay, now let's talk about some of the peripherals. The watch is equipped with a very high-grade strap and a deploying clasp. Let's consider each in turn. First, the strap. It is lovely, and it has a wonderful, almost gum-like feel to it. It's a rubber strap, but it feels like silicone, meaning it's incredibly supple and comfortable. You'll also appreciate the fact that on both sides there's a little hollow on the wrist that allows the wrist to breathe a bit, creating an air pocket. Plus, you can see, in the name of security, the strap is fixed to the case using screws rather than spring bars. For absolute security, you have peace of mind knowing you can't accidentally pull out when you've installed the strap or replaced the strap yourself. You'll also note how perfectly conformed it is to the profile of the case. There's almost no daylight showing, creating a very highly integrated look as though the watch were on a bracelet. Plus, you note the fact that the strap flares both in cross-section and it tapers overhead, so there's a wonderful sort of design coherence about this watch. It looks really nice, even though you're talking about two completely different metals adjacent. And we get back to that steel and rubber contrast with the polish and satin of the steel and the bright red rubber. You'll also appreciate the fact that this is no mean deploying clasp. Twin trigger actuated, it is very thoughtfully designed. You can see that there is a push button slider system that's built in internally. You push both buttons and now you have incremental adjustment. These are spring loaded so you can fully step to properly size or even use it as an all-out extension over a wetsuit. You'll also appreciate that you do have some adjustability built in. Even though this is a cuttable strap, you have a lot of flexibility with the adjustment mechanism, the ability to cut these pre-scored sections, and then the ability to use a conventional pin style aperture match to size the watch. You are guaranteed to get a precise fit. There's also a combination of polish on the outside, satin finish on the outside, and engine turning on the inside, so the detailing is excellent. Plus you have a minderless system that lets you tuck the strap into the clasp, and though it's a massive watch, it's also a clean watch. As you can see, there are no loops on the outside, no minder loops, none necessary, and when sized there's no excess length visible. It's all underneath the clasp. It's very clean. That's a smart clasp. Jumping back to the case, you can see it's a smart case too. You have the screws fixing the strap to the case. You can also buy an accessory bracelet from Oris if you really want. It fits the same lug junction. You can see that the crown guards themselves are fixed by screws and removable, so if you gnash them they're removable in favor of service components. There is a principal finish of satin, but you can see a few well-chosen polished aspects, such as the lip of the bezel, the hoods of the lugs, and the underside of the bezel, as well as the screw heads themselves. It's nicely executed, and the crown, though protected by shear guards, which can often block access to a crown on divers, it's so large and its knurling is so deep, you have no trouble grabbing this crown. This isn't part of the Oris Big Crown series, but effectively it is. A few things. The watch is dedicated to the notion of conservation of water, and not just ocean conservation, as this watch is dedicated to a man named Ernst Bromeis, who's going to be swimming across major inland bodies of water, including Lake Baikal in Siberia, which sounds like a chilly affair, and thus you have the image of angry waves on the dial, that angry Siberian gray, and that's exactly the effect that Oris meant to convey, which is why there's also no aluminum insert on the bezel, which features polished and relieved numerals and indices, and then a frosted base that's designed to evoke the texture of water driven by winds. You can also see that the dial itself is of exceptional quality, as it's a bright metallic sunburst gray, and this is what IWC would call ardoise. There are also applique indices. They're applied rather than printed, so though this watch is reasonably priced, it is also impressively spec'd. The movement underneath is a Sellita SW201, so automatic winding, 26 joules, stop seconds, and a quick set date. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour thanks to the screwed-in case back. Let me show you the movement a little bit better, to better advantage. Thanks to the screwed-in case back and the screw-down crown, the watch is water-resistant to 300 meters, which is a solid number for a pro-style diving watch, and one that should hold all but the most demanding professional divers in good stead for any number of recreational diving pursuits. You can see the architecture is basically like an ETA 2824, because that's exactly what a Sellita SW200 is. It is a legally produced replica of a 2824. The ETA patents are so old on that movement that anyone can make one, and Sellita makes a very good example. A tank tough tractor movement for a tank tough limited edition, or I should say special edition watch. It's not made in a limited series, but it is a special for the 2019 model year. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox.